So hi everybody, I'm Romain. I'm the tech lead of the Hue project. And I'm going to show how you can open up your data with Hue. Before I start, so who is familiar with SQL on Hadoop in the room? On Solar? On Spark? Like many people. On Hue? Oh, not bad, awesome. So 100,000, who can guess what this number is? Like, it's not the cost of Hue, because Hue is free. It's not the price of the raffle. Can someone give a guess? Downloads? No. It could be number of Jira's tickets. It's growing up a lot now. This is the number of unique users in a month using Hue. Hue is getting really popular. It used to be 1 less 0 at least, but it's rapidly growing. So why? So why is it growing? So typical usage of data analysts is to use a command line to drill down their data. Here I'm just using Beeline to show the list of my tables. So it works really well for a certain type of users, but for many end users, it's too complicated. There's no syntax highlighting. You need to SSH on a machine. It's a real barrier of usage. We tried to put some colors in a first version, but it's still not enough. Instead, end user prefers to have a nice web UI where they can type queries, get syntax highlighting, auto-completion for like advanced, like nested types, download, share your queries, more easy to use. So Hue is open source, it's free, it's on GitHub, it's Apache licensed, we accept contribution, pull request, and it's pretty active. The core feature of Hue is to query data. So usually, and I will follow up with a demo, the user wants to explore, find its data. It can be in some tables, in some indexes, in Solar. And then when he has his data, he will like type a query or build a dynamic search dashboard. And finally, either download the data, export it, or even better, schedule it to run every day, or plug it into another pipeline. So if I go to first step, I will explain the architecture in Hue for all of these steps. When I have a lot of data, for example, in Hue, you can just drag and drop a file. It will create the Hive table for Hue. Most of the time, the data needs to be cleaned up a little bit. It can be done with a little script on the side, but it won't work if you have like a lot of like gigabytes, terabytes of data. Usually, people will use a pig script, or even better, like I will show, a little Spark script. These scripts can be submitted through Oozie in a batch mode, even through the UUI. But more recently, we've been integrating all the Spark notebooks with the Livy Spark REST server. So Livy lets you submit, like open up a shell in the cluster, and then just submit and interact with it in live. Solar search is a bit more complex, but more powerful. So if you give a big CSV of data, Hue can guess the types of each field, then create a Solar collection, which is the equivalent of a table, but that's a Solar term. Then we'll use Morphline, generate a MapReduce job that will index the data. It will build an index in a batch mode, and at the very end, we'll move it to the Solar workspace, and Solar will pick it up. So you can have a lot of data. It's still really quick to do offline indexing. This feature is particularly useful if you have like the New York taxi data, which is like even a day, one file is like 1 or 2 like gigabytes. You can just drag and drop it. It will index it for you. When I have my data, then I will like query it. In the latest Hue that we released last month, we show like a new editor all the editors are unified together. There is not one editor for Pig, one for Hive, one for Impala. They are all, 99% of the code is the same. It means with one API, sometimes using the Server 2 API or submitting pigs through Oozie, or even supporting Solr SQL or any type of SQL, you will see your table on the left. You get the autocomplete. And this is possible because of the redesign, and everybody can write a little connector. People are doing it for Phoenix, for example. It's easy to just plug it in. And if you have JDBC, it will work out of the box. The other one that we demoed last year at the Hadoop Summit was the dynamic search dashboards. So same, Hue gets all the metadata from the Solr server, and then with a nice drag and drop, you can get like the top country codes, the top users, like a quick sum up of your delta, and I will demo it just afterwards. When you have the query, the last step is to productionize it. So Hue also try to help the end users for doing this. You can share, you can download the query result. Even better, you can build pipelines. For example, if you have a Spark job doing a little cleanup, then the Hive real analysis happening, it can be chained together. In the latest Hue, you don't even need to display or put the script on HDFS. You can just use your safe queries already. In the last step, when you have your pipeline ready, you want to run it every day. Let's say I have some data coming up every day, or some new partitions showing up in a table. Hue, under the cover, is relying on Oozie to submit workflows and coordinators, except that the end user doesn't need to know about it. And then each of these pipeline, each of these instances will pick up the data when it's available and automatically run the job. I will follow up with a demo of what you can do. I will use a scenario like of a banking where we need to get all the transactions of our customers that are more than $10,000. So I will just switch to Hue and go. Maybe I will zoom a bit. This is a new Hue interface. Similar to Google Doc, you can share documents. You have directories, you can get organized, you can export them. And I'm going to start with a little notebook that will clean up my data. First step will be to start the Spark session. So Hue is relying on Livy, which is a Spark REST server, same, which is open source and Apache licensed. It will run a Spark shell on Yarn. So in the Hue job browser, I can see the Spark shell running somewhere in the cluster. And when it's ready, the Livy session will execute the statement. So the first time, it takes a few seconds. Then it's really quick. So now I can do, instead of doing a pig script that is can be a new language to learn, I can reuse my Python skill or my Scala skills and do it just from the comfort of this notebook. And Hue lets you autocomplete the HDFS path. You can right-click to open it up in file browser. So here I'm just going to sample the first rows of my data. And let's say I want to just unify my country codes. For example, I have USA in 3 letters or 2 letters. It supports, I can also view it in a nicer way with the magic keywords. For example, I'm printing the same data, but in a table format. And I reuse the editor. And if I go to my column 18, I will see my country codes. This time, if I just do a simple replace, like a quick and dirty replace of my country code, I execute the script, and update this snippet too, I will have cleaned up my data. So in almost no time, I can do my quick like small batch processing in an interactive way. These scripts can then be moved to an UZI and executed non-interactively. And you can keep adding snippets. When my data is ready, I can switch to the new editor. You can notice first that when I leave the editor, Hue is releasing the resource of the Spark session. So the session is closed. Now let's go back to our use case, where we want to find all the our bank transactions that are more than $10,000. So we have a ton of tables. So we can search for those. Look at first some tables. Look at the columns. So this one looks like it's a good one. In one click, we get our sample of data. Contrary to the shell before, we can have sample of data, autocompletes, without switching to another page. So we see the amount of transactions. We have some statistics. We can even open up in the Hue Metastore to have even more information, like on the partitions, for example. So I'm just going to take and drag and drop this table and look at the data. In practice, tables have a lot of columns, like even thousands, and Hue supports all of those. In our case, we're like 150. We can, for example, remove the amount from the grid. We can scroll all around, even go in like a full screen mode. And if I want to just quickly jump to like the city column or the country, I can just do it from this interface. So now we have all this data. We want to refine it. So I'm going to look for the client, then the amount of data. We saw that we had like a city. So we'll get also we have the latitude and longitude of the city. On my autocomplete, contrary to the shell before, picks up all the matching keyword. It works with multiple databases, aliases, so you can go type really quick. So I have all my transactions. Now I just need to filter them by the amount. So if my amount is big, on my country code is either Canada or US. So we can pick US, and Hue is smart enough to pull up real values from the tables. That way, if you have a complicated country code, sometimes you might do a query with off by a letter or lower or uppercase, run a query for 1 hour for nothing. Here, I have the real value. Then order by my amount, and then just do a limit. Let's get the top 25. So as you type, the query gets bigger. So now we can format it. You try to improve the user experience. So Hue is listing all the MapReduce jobs triggered by this Hive query. I could click and open it up directly in the Hue job browser. So this one went really quick. So, and it will show the live progress in the latest version. So I have my top 25 that Hue can help you do a quick graphing. And you can see like this NBA player spends the lost among all of those transactions. You could also try to find the lowest one. So in real bank auditing, 999 is almost the same as 10,000, so you have even more chance to get audited. But maybe he's trying to save money. Hue has several charts. And even for this type of visualizations, it's even better on a map. You can even zoom in. Oops. And see where our authorizations are coming from. So now I have my data, it's refined. I will go to the next step. Oh, I could download it, share it with another users, download it as CSV, export it in a new table. Or be a bit smarter and parameterize it. For example, make it more generic about the country and the limit. And then I will save it. And then let's see if I can schedule it in my workflow. So I'm just going to open up the Oozie workflow. So in the latest few versions, where I did the document drag and drop, with this one, you can just select when you saved Hive query. Then just add it in your workflow. Hue will pull up for you all the variables. So if we do the US, the limit, it supports even within the workflow other properties. And then I could pipe it, like do in parallel, like compute the Canada, for example. And then I will run my workflow. In the latest versions, if I want to schedule this query every day, I can just directly go in the new right panel and select if I want to run it every day of the week, on Sunday or Tuesday or Friday. Basically, we are integrating the coordinator editor directly into the editor. And this, same as before, we are picking up all the variables of your script so that you don't need to know anything about Oozie. I will go quick on the search example. So similarly, if I have indexed my bank data into a Solr index, I could just select my Solr index, and then I can just drag and drop widgets based on the fields of my collection. So we show that in my big index, we have 150 fields. One is a city. So Solr will automatically facet on the city, like in the Amazon search. And then if I want all my records from Houston, I will just select Houston. If I want all my records from New York or Houston, I will click on it. And it works even if I keep adding new fields. So if I want to do through the time, see all my transactions in Los Angeles through the time, I get it for free. And if I keep adding widgets, we can make an even nicer dashboard with all the fields, like by type of cards or network or country. So I will switch back to so what's coming up next? We have a second version of the editor coming up with a much smarter autocomplete. It will do values. It will help you on the joins. It will even warn you when you are trying to write a bad query. It's also difficult to search all your data. So we are improving the search. That way, if you are tagging like a certain table, like audit 2016, instead of just searching like me at the beginning on the table name, it will search across all your tables and databases. And in the upcoming Hue 4, which will be at the end of next year, all the full Hue itself will be a single-page app where you don't have any page reload, which takes roughly 4-5 seconds sometimes on a loaded Hue. So it will be much like up-to-date, like a real web app of 2016. And that's it. So I went a bit quick, but if you have any questions, feel free to ask now, and I will stay around also after the talk. What?
We have Hue in production today. The question is, for one instance, what do you recommend users? Because I have a large community of analysts.
OK, so the question was, I have Hue in productions. So how many concurrent users Hue can you support on one instance? So it's typically 50. It depends on which Hue versions. If you go back like 1 year ago, we were not caching all the database and tables. So at each page load, we were fetching all this data from Hive. And if Hive is slow, it can be slow, and it's a lot of data. Now it's cached, so we are bumping up. But usually we say 50, and then we have some tutorials to set up a load balancer. And if you use Cloudera managers, you have even a load balancer out of the box. So you can just keep adding.
Hue supports Presto?
So in the new editor, Hue supports JDBC. So if Presto has a JDBC connector.
Presto runs on top of Hive.
Yeah, but Presto has a JDBC connector. Yeah. So any database usually supports JDBC or DBC. And if your Presto supports this connector, you can plug in any generic database into the new SQL editor.
So can we do joins between SQL Server and data sitting in Hadoop using Hue?
So the question is, can you do joins between multiple databases?
Yeah.
So right now, we don't. Like each snippet is dedicated to a database. You can put in a notebook multiple ones. Hue has the data, but we are not doing any logic in Hue right now. So you can print it, but you can't really join it. You'll have to export it. So no, not yet. One.
Can you use Hue to do simple data movement?
Can you use?
Very simple data movement. Like, I do a one query to SQL Server data and move to Hadoop.
So can I do data movement in Hue? So typically, Hue has a Scoop 2 app. Scoop 2 is not GA yet. So but it works to, like, it has a JDBC connector, so from any database to a file, or vice versa. So it's what we would recommend. So to use a Scoop 2 app to move data into Hadoop.
Yeah, but it is integrated in the Hue.
Yeah, it's like I don't have Scoop running, so it's going to error. But you have this this app. Yeah.
Thank you.
So one more. So the question is, can I share queries with different users? So it's similar to Google. So if I select a query, then I can select permissions. If I want, I know I have a Hive user or a Hive group, I can select, then give a read or write permissions, and then just add it. Then the user, when he logs in, he will show up in his home. And then he can use it. Or he can even modify it. So yeah, similar to Google Doc.
In the notebooks, can you mix two different languages like Scala and Hive together?
So the question is, in the notebooks, can we mix snippets, languages? So yes. So
At the same time?
in the same snippet?
Yes.
No. It's like snippet by snippet. There's no. It depends on the language. I know, for example, in Spark, they are trying to make the RDDs reusable. But this is up to the language. I can type some Hive here, then I do a new, I don't know, Impala snippet, but they are not connected.
Can we combine them through Uzi?
So that's the next step. So I show in the scheduler, when I went I show like the cron job, the cron, I want to run this query every day. Vue is generating a workflow for you. So for all the type where there is a USI action available, like Spark on Hive, Vue will generate the workflow for you. So that's the next in the next Vue. Oh, it's really cool. That way, if you have even like a lot of create table statements, you can just do run as a batch job from your Hive editor, because right now it's like JavaScript based, like when you execute the multi-query, so it's much more efficient.
So when you say next Vue, you mean like a 4.0 version?
3.11,
3.11?
which should be end of August, early September.
Which version is
This
this?
is 3.10, on which has the right scheduler is a master. Uh-huh. So question is, are you is positioning itself against Zeppelin? Yeah. So Vue is more across all the Hadoop ecosystems. We have nicer file browsers. It's a bit less data sciencey. We focus a lot on SQL. We'll nail SQL first. And we want to reuse like these integrations, like the last mile problem of adding my query in my workflow and scheduling it every day. That's where we're going at. So we have like 3-4 graphing, like the basic ones. That's, yeah. One more? Yeah. The question is about almost the same? Oh, so I don't think we have the snippet now. Spark SQL has a Thrift server interface. So it means Hive or Impala. If you use Hive or Impala widget, but you point to your Spark SQL Thrift server, it will work. I know because I tried, they don't support all the Hive API yet. It's not perfect. But if you do embedded SQL in like a Python, it works well. I know even some people that built like a small connector. You type some SQL, but it's like wrapping, doing a wrapping into PySpark and then submitting it like what I did during the demo. But yeah. Good. Good. So time is up. Thanks a lot, and I will stay around. Thank you, everybody. Oh.
I'll let them know.
And,